I want to see it.
These are the worst things on Reddit in the form of an iceberg. We'll first start with the more creepy and strange, and then gradually move on to the more obscure and disturbing. I made this iceberg myself, and it contains some of the worst.
All right, look. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. We won't watch the whole video now. We'll watch like 20 minutes. 20 minutes of the video. And then we'll go to VV. 20 minutes. Let's lock in.
Things humanity has to offer. Viewer discretion is highly advised. On the 7th of June 2018, user Incredibly Shiny Shart would confess to something very peculiar on r/IMA, along with providing several pictures. Hi all, I'm a man who ate a portion of his own amputated leg. Ask me anything. So the quick and dirty. About 2 years ago, I was hit on my motorcycle. They salvaged my foot, but I'd never be able to walk on it. I elected to have it amputated. I asked the doctors to keep it. I signed some papers, I got it back, and with the help of some friends, cooked a portion of the tibulus anterior. OP then links to multiple photos, some of them of him cooking and serving what he dubs foot tacos, and others of him and his stump. Edit, I taste like buffalo, but chewier, super beefy, and little fat. User Many Thanks would very justifiably ask, it seems like you shared it with others from the photos you posted. Who else ate it? Also, I am just curious. From the first picture, it seemed like you only damaged your foot. So why did they amputate so high up? Do you know? Opie replies, 10 of my friends joined in for a brunch. Only the foot was damaged, but with below the knee amputations, they want to do it higher up, so there's a balance between having enough stump to make for a good lever and having enough room beneath for prosthetic equipment. If they amputated low, it would make it difficult to put good hardware underneath. User Ben Danger would reply, damn, I can't even get like 2 friends together to go to a movie.
Yeah, this is weird, bruh.
In 2019, a subreddit called r/.
By the way, if you eat human metal, you'll get prion disease and give or take 30 years. I don't know what prion disease is. I'm not familiar with the disease you get from eating human.
Catfish was created by a group of self-described incels. These were people who believed that they were being rejected by women because of their looks. They wanted to prove a point, that women only care about how attractive a man is. To do this, they created fake dating profiles using pictures of very typically handsome men. This is what they dubbed Chadfishing. The men behind these profiles would talk to women on apps like Tinder and Bumble. They often acted rude, mean, or strange purposely in these chats.
No way.
To see if the woman would still flirt or send photos. They posted screenshots of these conversations on the subreddit to laugh at the women or to say, see? Women only care about looks. The pinned post on the subreddit reads, Meet Chad, the child. Attached is a photo of a fake Tinder profile. Chad, who is 29 years old, boldly declares in his Tinder bio that he is a child. The experiment here is to see if women will still fall for him despite his convictions. Attached are chats with 4 different women. All 4 women don't seem to mind Chad's past, saying things like, I guess it's cool how you're being honest about it though. But things got quickly worse. The members created a private chat on Discord where they shared nude photos that the women had sent to the fake accounts. These photos...
Yo, I can't, bro. Niggas are so weird, bro. They really are. They need help. I know you're saying, like, why are you surprised? But these niggas need help, bro. Humans need help.
Were obviously shared without the women's permission, which is actually a crime. Discord was actually the first to act. It banned many of the group chats for breaking the rules. After this, Reddit eventually stepped in and banned r/Catfish for harassment and breaking site policies. r/True Femcells was a subreddit made for women who called themselves true femcells, meaning women who felt permanently unattractive and unable to form romantic relationships. Not by choice, but because of how they looked and how society treated them. The pinned post on the subreddit reads, the men who have just discovered the femcell sub. Femcells, please see note. It's quite simple. This moderated server is a safe space for femcells. It is not for you. You have a...
Okay, I feel like this would all be solved if femcells just meet incels. Like, if they met each other, like, life would be good. I don't understand the problem, bruh. Just gonna be ugly together somewhere. Like, what? Unk don't know what hypergamy and what are you, and looks matches are? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They don't want ugly partners. That's the problem. I guess, bro. I guess, yo, like get in where you fit in, nigga.
Plethora
I had fun. Did y'all have? Did y'all have fun? I would tell your ass hair Sunday, bro. Cute. Bro, I was having fun, dog. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was only for half a second, bro.
of outlets to pipe in with "as a man" and many other male-directed quips and opinions. This is not one of those outlets. The women who come here come to vent, relax, and to be free of your thoughts and input. As such, moids who insist on being here are visitors
Moids.
only. If you interrupt the tone of this wonderful safe space with your anecdotes, male-driven advice, insults, comments about your sexual preference, really any of
He said that's the most joy I've seen in bro face in the 3 years I've known, bro. You didn't know me for 3 years, but I suppose.
your moid matters, you and your post will be removed. Unlike male incel spaces,
How you doing,
which often turn
Trust?
aggressive and hateful, true femcels
We plan on getting on 2K in like a few hours.
focus more on
We do want to play VV though.
pure sadness and self-image struggles, though it sometimes included harsh opinions about dating, men, or even other women. One post reads, "Social skills are a meaningless concept. If you're ugly enough, everyone will always treat you like a joke and mess around with you anyway. And they're forgiven
Open. Open. Manduros. Look at this, guys. Look at this absolutely amazing. I can't show y'all the way I want to, but it's really good looking, bro. My girl cooked up. Yo, my girl is so afraid to like come into the stream while I'm streaming to show you, like to like be on camera, that she give me the dog treatment, bro. Knocking on my door just to drop food off without me knowing what's going on. Ridiculous. Domain expansion of death.
for they are hot, which comes before all other stuff. Social skills are a myth when it comes to women. Everyone only reacts to our looks, and all social skills means is you're attractive enough to be forgiven for being obnoxious from time to time, while the rest of us can't miss a single step. Eventually, the subreddit was removed, likely due to the repeated rule violations or being too closely linked with incel culture, which Reddit has cracked down on in more recent years.
Shout out to Reddit.
Although r/traceAnObject is intended to help authorities identify specific objects in CSA videos to track down perpetrators, it's the unsettling nature of the images that makes it disturbing. The posts on the subreddit are heavily cropped, with almost everything painted
noticed. I was
white
watching your
except for
stream,
the
Panda.
object the FBI is gathering information on. One recent post, made on the 1st of June, shows a logo visible on a t-shirt. Usually, very little context is provided in these posts about why a particular item is being searched for or where it is originally found, but most are objects appearing in highly illegal CSA videos. Some users in the comments section attempted to unblur the image and adjust its perspective to figure out what it was. One member suggested that it belonged to Aston Villa Football Club. Many other posts feature cropped items, mostly shirts or objects such as cups, calendars, and sometimes even teddy bears belonging to young children. These are shared in the hopes of identifying specific brands or locations, such as schools where particular uniforms are worn, which can help ongoing investigations. Monitoring the subreddit from time to time may be helpful as it allows users to notice details that authorities might have overlooked. We are now on level 2 of the iceberg. In 2018, a Reddit user named OceanGate Inc. posted in r/RMS Titanic. He introduced himself as Stockton Rush, the CEO and founder of OceanGate, a company that specializes in submarine tourism. Rush said his company was going to start diving to the wreck of the Titanic in 2021. He invited Redditors to ask him anything. Rush's plan was big. He wanted to take small crews down in a sub called Titan to film and scan the Titanic wreck. The main goal was to study how the ship was decaying and to build a record for future generations. In the AMA, John Dothan asked, "What's the depth rating for the sub? Do you trust it?" Stockton would reply, 4,000 meters. Yes, I trust it. I especially trust our extensive testing and real-time acoustic and strain monitoring system. We can detect any anomaly well before we reach a critical pressure. We know of no other sub that is so well instrumented. By 2021, the dives were actually happening. OceanGate reached the wreck and began filming. The plan from the Reddit post had actually come to life.
It's
then,
very good.
In 2023, tragedy would strike.
He died.
During one of their Titanic dives, the sub imploded. All 5 people on board, including Rush, died instantly. Now that old Reddit post reads very differently, as Stockton Rush was clearly very passionate about his project, but in the end, it would cost him everything. The members of r/jailbait posted highly inappropriate images of underage girls. While the photos didn't feature any outright nudity, they were overtly suggestive. The community was explicitly focused on minors, with any content featuring girls who might have even slightly appeared over 18 being immediately removed. What makes it even stranger is that most of the images were taken without the girls' consent from Facebook and other social media platforms. Only a few archives remain, but the titles of some of the posts from the subreddit are extremely disturbing. Shockingly, it became one of Reddit's most popular communities. The subreddit was created by u/violent acras, who described himself as a troll and admitted to posting provocative content solely to provoke reactions. He also created other disturbing subreddits, such as pics of dead kids.
Don't tell me that nigga got full cock too. That's crazy.
A while later, a member of r/jailbait posted suggestive images of his 14-year-old ex-girlfriend and offered to provide full pictures in the DMs. This led to the subreddit being banned forever for very obvious reasons. r/whitebeauty was a subreddit where people posted pictures of white men and women. A strange concept, but other subreddits celebrating other races exist, so initially it was not seen as that bad. The subreddit hosted celebrating
Is that Franklin Saint?
That
is Franklin Saint. I thought you were Franklin Saint.
It was not seen as that bad. The subreddit hosted purely safe for work content. No nude photos were allowed, but controversially, neither were Jewish people. As the subreddit description reads, fascist beauty standards reign supreme. This is an SFW subreddit, so please no nudes. No Jews either. Somehow, even more controversially, there were multiple categories in the subreddit.
That was Franklin Saint's actor, by the way. Damien Idris. That's why I said that. That's what shows that Franklin Saint.
Photos of women, photos of men, group photos, and photos of children, which obviously felt strange to many people. A collection of pictures of white children. The moderators, unsurprisingly, were known for posting in racist subreddits, and some said they even wanted to upset non-white people by showing off white beauty. Eventually, Reddit took action. First, the subreddit was quarantined. That means it got a warning label, and people had to click through a message saying the content might be offensive. And eventually, in June of 2020, Reddit banned r/whitebeauty completely. Some people complained that Reddit was being unfair, saying other subreddits about other races were allowed to stay. But others pointed out that those groups didn't have hateful rules or connections to any sort of supremacy. From the name alone, you can likely guess what r/fatpeoplehate was centered on. The subreddit began in 2013, created by a user known as Gummy Queen Sarah. At first, it was a place for venting and sharing anti-fat content in response to fat positivity movements. But as the community grew, things got more intense. A typical post looked like this. I'm so lucky there were 2 lines at the company buffet this morning, accompanied with a sneakily took photo of a morbidly obese person getting food at a buffet. The original creator started to feel uncomfortable and tried to shut down the subreddit. She even made the group private and changed the description to
niggas are shitters, by the way.
However, another moderator, known as the Penis Wizard, still had access. He reopened the subreddit and eventually convinced Reddit staff to hand over control. After that, the community exploded in size, reaching over 150,000 members. One unique feature was the verification system. If you wanted a
What?
special badge on your profile, you had to send a photo of your body to the moderators to prove you weren't overweight. Many users
This is
did this
ridiculous.
to get more respect within the subreddit. Those who refused to send pictures of their body were often mocked or ignored in comment sections. Ironically, the moderators themselves never shared their own photos. In June of 2015,
That nigga was
Reddit
fat, huh?
introduced a new rule against communities that organize harassment. And just a few weeks later, r/fat people hate was banned.
Hmm.
r/dark side smoking fetish is a very niche but very disturbing community. After only scrolling for a minute on this subreddit, which I wouldn't recommend, you'll begin to realize that this isn't just about cigarettes. Users share fantasies and real photos, particularly of women smoking while terminally ill, during pregnancy, or
What?
even while on life support. The top posts of all time on the subreddit show photos and videos of heavily pregnant women smoking. Other users post their stories
Ridiculous.
of continuing to smoke and the joy of knowing they're damaging their bodies. As a post from a deleted user reads, "Enjoying damaging my lungs. 39F. Been smoking for 25 years. Heavily for the last 15 years. I love the fact that my lungs are damaged and can barely exhale the smoke and it gets trapped inside."
Yeah, my nigga, if you hate yourself, just kill yourself in game. Like, we're doing too much. Like, yeah, come on, bruh. This is a different level, bruh. It's a different level. Get on Minecraft and go jump off the fucking mountain, bro.
It has 73 upvotes and caused a discussion about how hot it is when women choose death for pleasure.
If the option is to do and say what she just did, or take her life in game, don't torture yourself, my nigga. You're already too far gone, bro. Just go ahead and get on Minecraft, jump off the mountain, type shit. I don't want to lie. It's too late, bro.
On August 16th, 2016, a Reddit user shared
Said
an
I love
unsettling-
pain. You're a masochist. Yo, I'm Dante. Pause it again. I'm gonna shove a water bottle. I haven't even been paused. No, you know I'm not gonna give you niggas normal tone. I haven't even been pausing. I've been calm. Ain't say shit. Now enjoy this pauses I'm about to give you, fuck nigga.
image of a man seemingly captured by a doorbell camera. The post uploaded to r/creepy
Oh my God, this is-
was titled,
yeah, that
"Got a
nigga, bro.
notification from my smart home app in the middle of the night saying your doorbell detected a visitor."
Okay, last time pausing for real. What y'all gonna do if y'all see this? If y'all see this at your door, what you doing, bro? I ain't gonna lie. I'm a bitch. Calling the cops. If I got the blicky, I'm up and fire at the door. I'm not gonna lie. That mask is creepy, bro. It's one of the two. If I got guns, I'm up and fire. If I don't got guns, I'm calling the cops. I'm not doing this with you, nigga. I'm not. Or maybe I'm gonna just turn my ass away and go to sleep because it's probably a kid pranking me. But that's besides the point, nigga. The reason that pranks work is because it's convinces you that it's real.
Most people speculated that this could have been a burglar trying to break into the house, urging the original poster to call the cops immediately. For further context, he shared a screenshot of the notifications he received. One of his comments reads, "Yes, this was real. I kept getting notifications on my app that my doorbell detected a visitor, yet when I checked the first few times, nothing appeared, and figured it was maybe a stray dog or someone on a sidewalk being detected by the sensor. Several notifications later, I checked again, and this is what appeared. Yes, I am alive." Some suggested it might have been someone mentally ill, with a few even urging OP to buy a gun for his own safety. Another commenter, noticing the odd way the man was standing, wrote, "I don't like the way they have their arms behind their back. For all we know, they could be holding a baseball bat or hammer or a gun. Creepy." Days later, the original poster returned with an update. It reads, "For all the PMs and comments regarding if I'm alive, yes, I am. I've been very busy with a wide spectrum of things in life. Visitor never returned, thankfully. Thank you, everyone
Shout
who
out.
checked on a stranger's well-being. There were no further updates, and it seems OP was safe in the end."
Yeah, no, that's actually uncomfortable to think about. Though.
r/creepshots was a subreddit where people shared secret photos of women, almost always taken without their permission. These images were usually shot in public places like malls, schools, or public transport, and focused on the
Damn,
women's
got her
bodies.
ass.
Most of
Got
the
her.
photos were of women in tight clothing, short skirts, or in bikinis. The subreddit grew quickly and obviously sparked a lot of outrage. Many people, including news outlets,
You know what's really sad about this? This was in 2012. This was like my time when I was younger. Your parents are fucking weird. Because this was in your parents' prime. This was your parents' prime. That's all I'm gonna say.
called it out for being creepy, violating privacy, and encouraging harassment. A major controversy hit in 2012 when a high school teacher was caught posting photos of his female students on the subreddit. The case put Reddit in the spotlight and led to more public pressure. In response, Reddit eventually shut the subreddit down. They said it broke the platform's rules, and
Holy shit.
r/creepshots became one of the first big examples of Reddit banning an entire community. We are now on level 3 of the iceberg. On March 15th, 2022, user Oxy over Oxygen would make his final ever Reddit post. Found a bag of heroin on the ground. Was so tempted to snort a line, and the bag had at least a gram of that 90% purity Cambodian number 4.
What the
Took
fuck?
everything in me to throw it back on the street later. Most users knew him from r/drug circle jerk and a niche subreddit called r/the cult, where he posted wild stories of substance binges and dark humor, scattered with glimpses of self-awareness. Often, he just sounded plain exhausted. In one thread, he mourned a friend who overdosed, sparking up one with my best bud for my best bud who OD'd. For those of you in the Golden Triangle, stay safe. Eventually, it was him people were mourning, as weeks after his last Reddit post, another Redditor commented that Oxy over Oxygen had died of a heroin overdose. They linked an obituary with his name and face on it. The first line reads,
That's
Nathan
nuts.
Jens Rasmussen passed away on March 16th, 2022 in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, from an accidental overdose at age 21. He was doing what he loved the most, traveling. It's very likely that Nathan, or Oxy over Oxygen, couldn't resist the
GGs, bruh.
temptation to try what he had mentioned in his final post.
That
A
nigga
woman made a
doing
disturbing
too much,
post on
bro.
the subreddit Let's Not Meet, titled He Pretended to Be My Dog. In the post,
Huh?
she explained that she and her husband usually hook their dog's collar to a long line outside their house, which was connected to a pipe at the corner of their home. This setup allowed the dog to walk around a little and use the bathroom. One day, while her husband
Nigga, it's thundering and lightning crazy outside right now, bruh. Holy.
wasn't home, she decided to hook the dog outside one last time before going to bed. A short while later, she heard a light scratch on the front door. Naturally, she assumed it was her dog signaling to be let back in. However, unbeknownst to her, the thing making that sound wasn't her dog. The post reads,
Said grown that man shivering? No, I saw the light over there and I was like, like I was confused.
Since I've watched way too many scary movies, I always look through the door's peephole before opening the door. Out of habit, I look to check that my dog is in front of the door. Instead, I see a man staring very intently at the door handle. I freeze with my hand on the door handle. I don't know how much time went by, but then I heard another scratch. This one louder than the last. This one kind of wakes me up from my initial shock. I run to grab my cell phone. I call my husband to tell him what's happening. He was very confused.
No.
I probably wasn't explaining the situation very well, but he says that he's heading home. While her husband was on his way back, OP realized that her dog was tied outside and this creepy man might try to hurt him. She checked the door again, only to find the man still standing there, staring intently at the doorknob. The post further reads, I considered calling the police, but I didn't feel they would take me seriously, since all this man was doing was standing in front of my house. I tried taking a picture of him with my cell phone, but my camera was only able to take pictures of the peephole and not the images behind the glass. All of a sudden, the man looks directly at me. I swear he knew I was there. He glares at me, then opens his mouth to show his taunting, malicious grin. He stood that way for a few seconds. With that, he turns around and starts to walk down the street. I stay in the same place, almost expecting him to rush back and start pounding on the door. Instead, her husband arrived home. They called the police, but the man wasn't found. Fortunately, OP and her family were never harmed. Still, what makes the story scarier is the possibility that the man had been stalking her beforehand. As one comment pointed out, he'd watched you long enough to know that your dog scratched scratching made you open the door, and he probably knew your husband wasn't there. Terrifying. Glad to hear the fur baby was safe. How long did it take you to feel comfortable in your home again?
I
To
wouldn't
which
feel
Opie
comfortable.
replied, "This is what I figure as well. This was actually the reason I was so hesitant to start letting our dog out through the front door. I didn't like the idea that someone could observe when I was opening the door from the street. It was a slow process. I refused to be home alone for a long time. My husband made more of an
Hell
effort to
no.
stay home with me as much as
You made
possible.
a new
We would
build
make sure one
yesterday?
of my
Oh,
friends could be
nice.
there. I also installed a peephole on the laundry room door just in case. There were no further updates to her post as Opie and her husband later moved to a different place."
I'd be
8
gone.
years ago on
That's
r/Ask
uncomfortable.
Reddit, beardless shipster would ask, 911 operators of Reddit, what's the scariest call you've ever received? Stepside79 would reply, I've posted this before when someone asked me what the most important call I've ever had in my job. So here goes. I'm a 911 police dispatcher. The most
Okay.
important phone call I have ever received is when I just started with the police about 16 years ago. I was 21, about 2 months in, very green, and still getting used to this crazy job. So I get a call from a male who flipped his car on the highway and was trapped. This wasn't
Damn.
unusual, to be honest. It does happen from time to time, especially in rural areas and at night when people drive while they're sleepy. Most people are bugging out and screaming while I try to get their info and send help. My job is to basically obtain a location, start a police, fire, and ambulance rolling that way, and keep the caller
Also, we're
calm
watching like
and
disturbing
speaking to me
Reddit,
to make sure he
like
doesn't lose
Iceberg.
consciousness. So the involved driver, who I'll call Zach, was about my age-ish, early 20s, very calm and cooperative, and even joking. He was hanging upside down because the car was on its side and he had injured his leg. It was all good. Help was about 10 minutes out, and Zach and I were chatting and even laughing about this crazy experience. I knew he was blocking the roadway in his vehicle and was hoping a passerby would stop and help him out. Unfortunately, he was on a blind corner and a car came flying around and struck his rolled over vehicle while he was still talking to me. Lots of screaming and yelling. I could tell he was pretty messed up, but I tried to keep him talking. He was just
That's
coughing
nuts.
and moaning. Sadly, the 10 things that need to happen for a car to ignite happened. Smoke and flames started pouring into Zach's car,
That is
and
so
he started screaming,
sad.
"Fire! I'm on fire." Basically, I listened while this poor kid burned to death. I still think about that call daily when I come to work. I've trained several new dispatchers and told that story to all of them. I've always said it's the most important call I've ever taken because nothing will ever be as bad as that. It's helped me deal with all sorts of madness I've been involved in, including hundreds of sexual assaults, domestics, shootings, pursuits, hostage situations, etc. But yeah, after that, the rest of this is easy.
That was really sad. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually
While
sad as fuck.
r/cannibalism advocates is now banned, a few archived posts can still be found on the internet. One of the posts was made by a man claiming to be a cannibal himself. His post reads, "Ask me anything. I'm a real endo-cannibal. I feel as though cannibals are shrouded in a strange, mysterious aura, which I find aesthetically fascinating. I also feel that we
What
need
the
to be
hell?
better understood. If you have any questions for me, send me a DM." In one of the comments under the post, a user asked OP how he could obtain human meat legally and which part of the body he should try first. OP gave a long, detailed reply,
What the
claiming that
fuck?
the easiest way is to find someone who willingly allows you to remove part of their body. According to him, doing this is completely legal and non-fatal. He advised the best plate to scoop out the meat from is the thighs, as they heal quickly and the meat is good. The post further reads, "Use sterilized equipment and make sure that it's completely consensual. Also, you're going to need to know how to bandage the wound afterwards so that it can heal." OP went on to explain that while obtaining a full body might be harder, it is in fact possible. It reads, "If you're wanting a whole body, that's possible as well, but a bit trickier. You're going to want to find a location where the laws about what you can and can't do with dead bodies are more lax. Then make an
Hell
agreement with
no.
someone to put it in their will that they will give you their body to eat. After that, just wait until they die and you'll have your meat. Good luck." The subreddit never grew beyond 500 members before being permanently shut down.
Yo, niggas are weird, bro.
5 years ago in r/confessions, user MagnetLink would write, "I was kidnapped when I was 8 and held in
Wrong, Coco.
captivity for 3 years. 26 and female. I was picked up by a stranger from school posing to be my dad's friend, saying he would drop me off to the airport to catch a flight with my dad. Not only did I actually have to travel with my dad that day, but this man somehow knew my dad was getting off early from work. He told me that morning, and that he had to go fishing with his friend. He did this a lot. He told me that my dad sent him to pick me up and meet him directly at the airport. I believed him. Convinced my teachers I knew him because I
Yeah, I
was
think that
excited to
is
go
crazy,
to the airport
especially as a
and left
kid.
with him. I was held in captivity for 3 years. I was beaten, starved. 11-year-old me had learnt to make him trust me. It started with us going around in his car, although I had to sit in the back seat and stay quiet the whole time. He let me come into his kitchen and make food for myself. He let me clean his house. The day we went to feed the ducks at the park, I ran. I ran as fast as my weak legs could carry me. Because of the crowd, I think he lost me. I begged the family for help, telling them I was kidnapped and I
That's
wanted to go home. I told them my
crazy.
name, my school's name, and my parents' names. Long story short, they caught him and he killed himself. I was back with my dad, my sisters, my dogs. I'm now happily married to my wife of 4 years, still undergoing therapy, have a good job, and a baby on the way.
That's so
On July
sad,
8th,
bro.
2022, a
That's
Reddit
so
user that went by the
sad.
username Throwaway God I'm Awful made a post on the legal advice subreddit worrying that something bad had happened to his sister. While the original post has been removed, some archives can still be found through the Wayback Machine. In the post, the Redditor explained,
Yo, I think it's really sad. I don't mean to cut off, but bro, like there are people right now that are currently kidnapped, living in a situation like that. Like I think that's the craziest part about that story is understanding that that's happening right now, nigga. Like right now, it's happening.
that around 7 months earlier, his sister went out with their grandmother, only to never return. The boy never heard back from his sister, and there were no letters, phone calls, or anything. Whenever he asked his parents about his sister, they acted very suspiciously, failing to give any straight answers. The boy and his sister were half white and half Asian. They used to live in America, but later moved to Taiwan because of their grandfather's deteriorating health. While they were living with their grandparents, he described how his grandmother would almost bully his sister at every point. The post reads, "The issue began with my grandma. She would really look down on my sister, and I loved my sister and didn't like it one bit. My mum said it's cultural and I shouldn't make a fuss, but it was hard when
Cultural.
grandma really started making it obvious. She got me clothes, games, etc. But my sis got no attention. Just under a year ago, my grandpa passed, and my parents decided we'd stay here since I already speak and read pretty fluently. Grandma spoke to everyone about how rude and unladylike my sister is, so my parents went along with it when I completely think that's wrong. 7 months ago, her and grandma went out, and my parents said she'd be at a boarding school for the summer. Just the summer. What was promised as a summer turned into 7 months of silence about his sister. According to his dad, his sister loved the boarding school so much that she decided to stay there forever, which seems like just a poorly crafted excuse. The post reads, "Still, it gets worse. After 5 months, I still hadn't gotten any contact. No message, no letters, nothing. And that's when my dad started making her room into his office space. We actually got
Did
into a
they
big
kill
fight
her?
over it, and I ended up with more chores, but he never answered why he was doing it, and if she'd be back soon. Anyway, it's now been 7 months since that car trip that took my sister away, and the final nail in the coffin hit. I was looking through the attic for my mom and found a box with some of her old stuff, including her phone. Why wouldn't she have her phone? Most Redditors argued that while it's certainly possible his sister is enjoying her new school away from her grandmother, it's also possible that she was trafficked. The members of the subreddit suggested that OP should directly call the US Embassy to make them aware of the situation. One such comment reads, "Not a lawyer. I don't know anything about the laws or systems in Taiwan, but since you're American and your sister is American, I would suggest you contact the American Embassy in Taiwan for help. However, once you contact them, your parents will obviously know and will likely be investigated. It would likely be a really big deal, but it seems worth it given the situation." A serious red flag mentioned by OP was that his sister didn't even visit their family during the holidays or birthdays. It almost seemed as if his sister had vanished into thin air. But after almost 3 weeks of silence, OP made an update. So thanks to the super community that is Reddit, I was able to get in touch with a few different sources, the least favorite of which was a phone call towards those that help find trafficked children. I knew my family would be investigated, and I actually went up to meet with another family at the time. So basically, a Redditor close to my age, who I'll keep private, met with me, and she had already shown my story to her family. They ended up letting me stay with them for a bit and made the proper calls to make sure it wasn't illegal. A few days after a week had passed, I got a call, and it turns out they found my sister. The reason for his
What?
sister's disappearance turned out to be much worse than a boarding school. As the update further reads, "My family had been taken in for questioning and were placed in holding for quite a while. I'm not sure why they didn't tell me this immediately though. I don't actually know the full story, but my sister was living close to 700 kilometers away. Yeah, nearly a whole day day's drive. It wasn't summer school or a boarding school or anything like that. My dad sold her to get married. OP later explained that while his family was being
Wow.
investigated, his mother was released so that the children would have a parent at home. However, his father and grandmother were arrested immediately. Most commenters praised OP, calling him a hero for turning in his own family to save his sister. In a follow-up post made a month later, OP mentioned that his mother had also been arrested. He explained that he was now living with an uncle on his mother's side, and that both he and his sister had started therapy, with his sister now in a better place. I'm
W
putting my
brother,
extremely
bruh.
profoundly disabled 7-year-old into a residential facility so I can forget he exists. I'm not sorry. On the 15th of June 2019, on r/confessions, a single mother writes that she is left caring for 2 boys after the death of her husband. One of them
This is
is
messed
so
up.
severely disabled that he can't move, speak, or respond to the world around him. His constant medical needs take over her life and slowly pull her family apart. I can't tell anyone this, even my therapist. Lambast me if you want, and maybe I even deserve it. I only ask what you would do if you were in my situation, not what you think people should do, what you would really do. I'm a single mum of 2 boys, 12 and 7. My husband passed away 3 years ago in a work accident. A very large portion of me believes it was suicide. I can't see him ever making the mistake he made that caused his death. And he had
Damn.
taken an action just before that which ensured his co-workers weren't in the room. I fully believed he killed himself because of our younger son, and no one will ever change my mind.
That's messed
We were
up,
told when
bro.
I was pregnant that he would have Down syndrome. We could handle that, even if it was severe. It turned out he has a chromosome deletion. His disorder is kind of rare, so I won't post which specific one, but suffice to say, he'll never be anything more than he is now or has ever been. And what he is nothing. He doesn't appear to have any awareness.
My son had a risk, like a 0.1% risk, or like a 1% risk of this happening to him. And like, of course, you know, his mother cried, thinking about it being a thing. I was optimistic. I was like, it'll be fine. They're not gonna have that. They say that if your kid is like that, it's better to abort it. That's just what they say. That's what the doctors say is the best idea in situations like that. So I do understand the situation at hand a little bit.
His eyes are locked in one position. He doesn't respond to noise, touch, or pain. He is total care. He is capable of nothing. He is tube fed and on oxygen. He is in diapers and will be forever. He makes no sounds, no attempts to communicate. He never even really cried as a baby. He has never made an attempt to interact with anyone or his environment. I'm not upset because I got a special needs or imperfect child. I feel the way I feel because this thing takes up 200% of my time and does nothing. I didn't get an imperfect child. I didn't get a child. I don't love him. He doesn't have any
He said, yeah, no, that's
personality.
fairly
There's
human
nothing to love.
at
And
that
yet
point.
I'm responsible for him. In addition to his extreme delays, he's also medically fragile. Respiratory crises, fecal impactions, his automatic nervous system doesn't function properly. Issues with his G-tube, infections, pressure sores, no matter what we put on him or how we position him. Our older
He
son
can't
has
live in
suffered
like
because
anyway.
his non-existent brother has colored everything in his life. He's had medical care get delayed because there's only one of me and his brother is more critical. We do have a visiting home nurse, but only 20 hours a week, and we aren't eligible for more. I was starting law school. I gave up my dreams and my plan for my children for this potato. My older son can't do a lot of things he
I'm sorry, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. That's fucked up. Like I said, I gave up my life and my dreams for this potato, bro. I don't like how you're talking about the thing that you made, bro. Like, you're fucked up. You're fucked up.
wants to do because of the younger's need for care and appointments. The final straw was I heard a sound. I went into younger son's room to check, thinking he had forgotten how to breathe again, and saw older son hitting him and screaming, "You're why I don't have a mother. You're why I don't have a father. You're why I can't have friends over. You're why I can't be in sports. I didn't ask for you, and I hope you die."
Burn the whole family. Burn the whole family. Burn the whole fucking family. Burn the whole family. That son, serial killer when he gets older. Burn the whole family. Hell no. Hell no. I don't give a fuck. If I walk into my room and my child is saying some shit like that to my other child, you said, nah, it makes sense. That nigga still got problems. I get it. You're frustrated, but you beating on the kid and start singing shit like that? No.
Instead of being horrified, I watched, and younger
Huh.
son just did not react. No sign
The mother is fucking weird. The kids are fucking weird. They're all weird.
of pain or fear or upset. No reaction at all. He breathes, but he is not alive. He doesn't know who I am, doesn't know who my older son is. He has no sense of self, life experience, or awareness of his surroundings. He doesn't need to be in my home. He doesn't know or care where he is. He is genetically my son, but he is not family. My previously abused, brain-damaged cat who can't walk straight has more personality and is far more
This is so fucked up because he didn't choose to be like this. But yeah, you're speaking evil on him like this. This is crazy.
lovable than my child. In fact, I was looking forward to raising a Downs baby, even one with severe impairments. For that reason, with a disability can come gifts. This boy is not a gift. He
Nigga
is
said,
a
man,
genetic
not like he can
mistake.
think.
I probably should have miscarried
It's not about him. It's about you as a human. You're an evil fucking person.
and would have definitely terminated if I had known he would be like this. And the flip side is, if he has awareness, he's miserable, and there's nothing I can do. If he has
That's
likes
true.
and dislikes, no one knows what they are. If he's in pain, he can't tell anyone. If he wants anything, he can't communicate. He has had every imaginable therapy. Nothing has made a difference. And so he's leaving our home on the 29th. I feel excited and relieved and then guilty, because I know we'll be happier with him gone. He's already taken my husband and my son's father. He was working so much overtime to pay for the cucumber's care, for the experimental therapies insurance wouldn't cover, because this one was going
That's another thing, bro. If your husband did take his own life, then he died in vain.
to be the breakthrough. He was tired and defeated and disappointed. He sought counseling as well, but I don't think he could ever say the words, I don't want my son in my home either. He's ruined my older son. I was so wrapped up on the younger, I never realized how ignored and damaged he was. He
Not
lost
really.
his
Open their
father too.
eyes, I
didn't
guess.
just lose my husband. He is my priority now, and this malignant lump can be someone else's problem. At least they'll be paid a wage to care for him. At least they'll get a break from him when they punch out. I just never want to think of him again, and I'm not sorry. And for that, I'm sorry. User Sauce would reply, and this is why abortion should always be an option. User Barbara Roja would say, I worked 10 years in a facility for individuals with special needs, some being profound. All situations are different, but I saw with my own eyes families that were simply better because of our facility. No shame for you, none, zero.
That was heavy, bruh. GG's. What? I told y'all we were gonna watch 20. We had 30. Vaughn, hurry up and send me a video. What did you have to reply to before I get on VV, bruh? You really need to sign up for all that? Yeah, but if you're a nigga and you have sex with a girl and you have kids, you gotta pay for child support. You feel me? You ain't really sign up for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bruh. Lock in. Stop playing with me. He said, nah. I guess Vaughn's missing. I'm about to get on VV. I don't see Vaughn nowhere, bruh. About to get on. Not all men pay child support. I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Saying, Glam. Come on. You had this. Febreze, believe me, Glam. Oh, Panda, your first Dan. Good work, girl. See you. You're actually doing things on. You're actually learning how to play Tekken. Type.
Because they keep messing with us.
Hold on, my fault. Showing love to my goat. Anyway. But there's a lot of men who do. True.
We are now on level
Alright. So I'm about to get on VV. I want to watch the rest of this later though, because this shit is actually heavy. That baby will be gone day one. I'm not the one, not gonna lie. Damn, you niggas are actually terrorists. I'm in VC, bruh. I'm in VC. Holy terrorism, bro. Glam, how you doing today? You having a good day, Glam? Life treating you good? I already don't want kids. I'm good off of. Alright. Nigga said humunculus. You're not real. I'm in VC, bro. I'm gonna get on VV Ultimatum. You joining? Patient? What's the word? Yeah, what's up, boy?
What's happening?
How you doing today, my boy?
Me.
That shit happened to me, bro. I'm taking myself out, or I'm telling my mom, kill me. Get her.
What?
If I ever become brain damaged, I'm telling my mom, or I'll communicate. Just kill me. If there's no point, don't keep me alive. I'm gonna be a damn vegetable on a bed